us now. Only love.
Welcome back. And we're in the third segment of our program, and we're going to discuss the need for volunteers. And organizations like the Bahamas Red Cross Society is particularly in need of volunteers. But as we were saying before the break, we have not had in the Bahamas the kind of need for the services of Red Cross, and we didn't have that kind of support. Give you an example. Each year, the Salvation Army conducts a bell ringing, and those of us in service organizations, we go to the various public places like supermarkets and ring the bell, soliciting funds for the Salvation Army. And I can say this without fear of contradiction. Non-Bahamians give far more liberally on a per capita basis. And you'll hear comments like, I remember them when I was in a war or when I needed them. They would give. Now, Bahamians would give to Salvation Army also, but the non-Bahamians, they gave very generously. The same thing with Red Cross. We didn't have that kind of experience, and the Red Cross lacked support, financial support. And so it was agreed to accept the offer of the wife of the then Prime Minister to be the fundraising chairperson. She did a fantastic job. There's no question about that. I served as president during a portion of that period, and we were independent. Our decisions, Mrs. Tynes as the Director General, and yours truly as the president, we were independent. Nobody ran over us. But when it came to fundraising, we recognized the need for outside help. And the individual, who is now the Governor General of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Came right back round to her.
Right back round to her. She never interfered with the operations of Red Cross, but she was the face of the fundraising drive. And I believe people just automatically felt, since that was the most prolific face, that that was the way it was done. Not so. Not in Red Cross. And persons who've been around then and persons who even know me today know that couldn't happen. Not under my watch. But we appreciated that effort. Listen, let's be real.
Yes.
There's a building that you have on JFK Drive.
Yes.
That building would have not been possible had it not been for the fundraising ability and dedication of the fundraising chairperson. There's no question about that. Not only that, the building that you once operated in Freeport was secured from the Port Authority through her efforts. I recall as president.
You're still using it.
Yeah, I was president. I recall us meeting with the late Edward St. George and really almost demanding that they provide that building, which was not being used at the time for Red Cross. Had she not been there, that was not going to happen.
Yes.
And the building on JFK Drive that you have was designed by Ken Lamb, a Rotarian, a friend, and we invited him to design the building. He designed it free of charge, supervised the construction free of charge, and it would not have been possible without the funds raised. So that period I can speak to with authority. We ran Red Cross. Lady Pinlan, as she was known then, led the fundraising drive. She was also chair of the Fair Committee for years. But during political season, she would retire, and I would assume chairmanship of the Fair Committee. So people can dispel that. We ran Red Cross, and Red Cross is as independent today as it was then. And if a person who is capable of really injecting a lot of success into the fundraising, I don't care what political persuasion, now let them come.
That's right, yeah.
And let's help raise the funds. But Red Cross is independent of all political considerations, no matter what people think. Now, having said that, let's really appeal for volunteers, because you have a lot of different areas. You have, for example, the fundraising areas with the ball and the raffle. Talk about that.
Certainly, like right now we're in raffle. We have our raffle coming up, and persons to sell tickets. We have also coming up in January our ball. So we need help, persons to help push that, because like I always tell them, these funds are for the operations. So we have to constantly, because we're always giving. Persons are there on a daily basis looking, for assistance.
That's right.
So let us raise the funds, for the individuals. We have the ball, we have the fair, we have the raffle. All of these we need help with. Persons can come in, help us get the letters out, make some phone calls, and of course we have the operations to run.
That's right.
And a person, for instance, with accounting skills can come in, help us in that area. Person with administrative skills, come in and help us type
IT
some letters.
skills, you need
all of that, because
all of that.
we don't have the funds to pay. We cannot attract persons, to work full time like that at the salaries that we can afford to pay. So, any type of volunteering assistance, we can always use the help.
Well, I'll be more detailed here. I took this out of your program. Persons can volunteer in disaster and welfare. You talk about shelter management
And youth.
training, and the radio operations, disaster supplies management, Meals on Wheels program, the elderly with rehabilitation, home visits, youth after school programs. All these programs you run.
Yes, we do.
The school links, the young adults, the daycare camp, computer club, the youth project, first aid and CPR, family island development, building maintenance. You need volunteers in all of these categories.
Yes.
And then you go down to fundraising and public relations. You need membership drive, the ball, the fair, the raffle,
Christmas
Flag
cards.
Day, Christmas cards, and all that, and production of your newsletter. I recall in 1978, when I first became president, we did a newsletter, and I am so proud we still have copies of those today. But it was
have
very
to.
difficult, It's not as
is.
easy as people think.
No.
But those newsletters were wonderful ways to get the message of Red Cross around the nation.
Yes.
But you need volunteers.
To do it.
Because one of the problems that organizations like Red Cross face, and we face it in our activities, a volunteer would come along, do a great job, and the program progresses, but then something happens.
And they leave.
And they have to leave.
Yes.
Either they have personal challenges, they were transferred on their job or whatever, they get married. And what happens to that program? It stumbles and sometimes collapses.
Yes.
But if we have a number of volunteers working in that program, you will have somebody who's able to step right in and fill that. Listen, folks, we are pleading with you. This country needs all of us. And we're not asking you to volunteer to do something that you don't like or you have no skills. The areas that I've just mentioned, and there are many others.
We do training.
And they
as
will
well.
train you. Once you are interested,
A disaster team.
Yeah.
We have a disaster team, and we do many, many trainings with them.
well, we are encouraging people. I mean, churches, go to your church. They could use your help.
Yeah.
Go to your club. Go to your kids' school. They could use the help.
I make a special appeal to persons that recently retired
Exactly.
or laid off.
That's right.
You'll find that a person will lose their job, and in the interim, instead of feeling sorry for yourself, find a charity that you can go and actually give your time to.
That's right.
It's an investment because it comes right back to you. Not only that, you're networking.
That's right.
You're there helping the Cancer Society. Someone may come in whose mother have cancer. You get a conversation. Next thing you know, you have a job.
Well, that's it.
So put yourself out there.
In human resources, you tell everybody, look, if you, for whatever reason, are out of work, don't stay home. Don't lay in bed. Don't get up in your night wear, 12 o'clock in the day. Get up. Maintain your routine.
Yes.
If you don't have work to do, go to an organization, an old folks' home.
Yes, and help.
And help. And maintain that aura of professionalism that you need. And as you said, someone will pass by and say, hey, what are you doing? And you say, well, I'm not working out. Come on, get it. But you'll have the feeling of knowing that you are really contributing.
Yes.
We really need everybody to step now to the plate.
And you mentioned challenges. One of the challenges that we're facing, and I guess all of us, is the social media
Yes.
and calling in, being negative to talk shows.
Yes.
I mean, what has Red Cross done you? What has the Cancer Society done you? Oh, we went there, and they make us wait so long, and it's amazing, and people take these things as if they're gospel. One person calls in and say, "Oh, don't give to the Red Cross because this and next."
That happens.
And they don't research anything. They don't check it out. They automatically believe what they hear.
But you can't worry about that. I'll give you a personal example. I pulled into the churchyard this morning, met a young man standing up, and he said to me, "You could give me breakfast this morning?" I said, "No, I don't have it." And some of the church people were there, and they were preparing for the lunch that we served today. So they said, "You can get lunch today." He said, "That's too long." So I said, "Well, I don't have it." He walked off, berating me, saying, "Yeah, that's why, you see, they could give, they could do better than they're doing, but that's why the ghetto is like it is." This man is half my age.
Yes.
He should be out there working. So I said that to say to you, don't worry about that.
Okay.
They're going to say that. What we should be concerned about is continuing the great work that you're doing. For example, during the recent weather that passed through the Bahamas, Red Cross mobilized. Tell us what you had to do.
Oh yes, we were there with crowds of persons every day, trying to help them get some food into the house. Make sure they had a stove, make sure they had the broom and mop in case they had any flooding. So we were there actually distributing items that we normally don't give.
That's right.
But we said, you know what? These are the things we're going to purchase and have on hand to ensure persons are prepared, because we always tell people, be prepared for in case a hurricane is coming. Make sure. So you have a few dollars. What you're going to do, you're going to try and buy some plywood to batten up. So if you buy the plywood, that eats up your funds.
That's right.
Red Cross will say, here's a box of groceries. They'll last you all. Cook some food, have it ready in case, So we help,
But that
we
means
help
your
to give.
storehouse is now down.
Of course. So,
And you need help yourself.
Yes.
I heard you talking about the preparation involved. It was unbelievable. For the family islands.
Oh, yes.
You have to use forklift, and you don't have a
We
forklift.
don't have a forklift.
What does that cost you?
The forklift rental is about $5,000 for the few days.
Rent?
Yeah, to rent it.
To
Yes.
put these pallets on trucks to be sent to the
and
family
then we have
islands.
to pay the trucks transportation to get them to the boat. People don't realize even the boxes that we use, we have to buy those boxes.
So what you're saying is, you can really benefit from the donation of a forklift.
We can.
It need not be new.
No.
It could be used.
Yes.
Please, folks, if you cannot donate financially or in material goods, donate your time.
Yes.
The Red Cross is a wonderful organization.
Desperately in need of one.
Has been around for many, many years. And let me talk specifically to the family islands. Back in the day, virtually every major family island had a Red Cross group.
We still do.
And they worked. So we're asking you to join those groups now. We need to
Yes.
keep those groups going, because as some of the family islands become, depopulated, we need those who remain to step in the gap. And let's keep
We are
Red Cross
currently
going.
packing stuff now. We just sending stuff out to the boats now to go out to those islands. So I have a list I just got a few minutes ago for Ragged Island and what they need.
Thank God.
Everything. So we'll just make sure we just get stuff out to the island to assist those persons while they have to rebuild their lives.
Make your final appeal for help, because you need help. You are an organization that must receive in order to give.
Yes, we have to. We need volunteers who can either give their time or, who can mobilize groups. We found that, some groups, like for instance the Rotary, they put together a group, some churches put together a group, come down when we have the heavy packing and sorting and stuff to do. So that area we need. Anyone who has a few dollars financially, doesn't have to be a great amount, every little bit helps. That can help to go toward to buying the things that we have to buy. My favorite thing is, if you're not helping those that need help, your job is to help someone who is.
Absolutely.
So, I may not be on the front line, you may be, but I can help you. What do you need to help those persons? So that's what it is with us. We need persons to help us stay and to keep the doors open so that persons, when they need us, we can be there for them.
Well, I'm going to make this final appeal for volunteers. Give me your telephone number.
Certainly. Our telephone numbers are 323-7370, 328-4415, or our cell 424-4201. Post Office Box N8331. You can email us redcross@bahamas.net.bs, or Director General at bahamasredcross.com. Visit our website, bahamasredcross.com, soon bahamasredcross.org, and as well you could keep abreast with us, send any questions through our Facebook page, Bahamas Red Cross Society.
Please, if you can, flood the Red Cross with offers of help, material help, but if not, voluntary help. They need it. Now, Mrs. Turnquest, I'm so glad that you not only came on the program, but I'm so glad that you answered the call to serve as Director General.
Yes.
I'm one of those who knew you in your banking. We did a banking course together
Yes.
at COB back in the day.
Yes.
And you were bright in banking. And when I heard that you left for the Red Cross, I said, well, you know, we need bright people in the Red Cross, and you've certainly done a wonderful job.
Thank you.
Since you've been there. And we are very, very proud of you, and that is why we're making this appeal on behalf of the Red Cross so that it can serve the people of the Bahamas and indeed the region much better.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for coming. We really appreciate it, and I'm sure our viewers have learned a bit more about the Red Cross, its value and also its needs, and the fact that there are people who work tirelessly within the organization, particularly during times like this, to relieve the suffering of others. So, folks, until next week, God bless you. Thank you for being with us, and have a pleasant evening.
Only love can save us now. Only love